Hey guys, welcome back to Harvest Lore. We wanted to talk about our ducks here for a minute. Some of the pros and cons of owning ducks. We've only had them for a few short weeks, but we want to go ahead and tell y'all the pros and cons. Biggest thing that you need to keep in mind, they are messy. If you thought chickens were messy, you were wrong. Ducks are extremely messy. Part of the reason is their water gets over everything. They have to be able to submerge their beaks, really their heads, into water so they can clear out their nostrils. And that makes for a huge mess in the brooder. And even in our chicken coop where they've been getting the water, there's big water puddles. They are just really, really messy. Another thing that we wish we knew, they don't really go back to the coop at night. You have to actually train them. And I've heard mixed reviews about it. There is a YouTuber, White House on the Hill. Their ducks do go back to the duck house. And so we're trying to figure out how to get our ducks to go back into the chicken coop so they don't get eaten at night. They don't get left outside when the door closes. We're hoping that eventually they're gonna learn from these guys and be like, oh, wait a minute, they're in the coop. We should probably be there too. And as you can see right now, it's already everybody's getting ready and the ducks are in the corner over there playing in the clovers. So yeah. So while all of the chickens are in the roost, here are the ducks just quacking away. They do not like to be held right now. Apparently when they're older, they really like to be held. Obviously it depends on the duck, but Ancona ducks are known for being very, very friendly and very, very docile. We have not seen that with these ducks yet. They always run away. And even the breeder that we talked with, she said that ducks tend to be by themselves from day one all the way until they're adult. And then when they're an adult and you have been outside, you've been around them, and they know that you are the one who feeds them, they will come up to you eventually. So it just takes a little bit of time, just like with the chickens. As long as you spend enough time with them, you don't have to hold them every day. You just have to be in the room so they hear your voice and know that you're gonna be there, and then feed them some treats every once in a while. They will be happy ducks. And as you can see, they're very happy ducks, and I think eventually they'll get to like us, but that could also be labeled as a pro too. They're very friendly and docile.
The ducks don't really like us yet. They still kind of run away from us, which is what you just saw, but they're just loving the grass, the wetness, the mud.
Yep.
We haven't seen them walk around so much until today, so it's really cute to watch the ducks enjoying the rain.
Yeah, they love it.
And we need to fill up all their food, so that's what we're gonna do now. So some people think that you have to have a pond or like a big body of water in order to have ducks. We learned
they don't need a pond. They just need to be able to stick their head in water.
Yeah.
So they at least need to get their bills wet so they can get the nostrils wet and get them cleaned out, because the water helps them clean out their nostrils. You saw me do my chores earlier. This bucket over here with cups, that helps gets their nostrils wet. And so that's bare minimum of what you need for ducks. You have to have a water with cups. That is just bare minimum. If you want to go the extra mile, just a tiny kiddie pool. Yeah. Just enough where they can splish splash around. We have some here. They get dirty fast because they poop in them instantly.
Yeah, as soon as you put them in there.
As soon as you put them in there, they will poop. But it keeps if you're just housing if you're just housing ducks, keeps for a cleaner coop. So that could be a positive for sure. But yeah, they will instantly poop in here. You will be cleaning it out probably once a week, if not more, depending on how clean you want to keep it. Ducks don't care. They're used to swamps. Our kiddie pools work just fine, and they love it. They can't quite climb in it. They can climb out of it, but they can't climb in it.
Yeah, they kind of just fall in.
Ducks are actually healthier than most poultry, and the reason for that is because they get wet very often. They're not susceptible to mites typically because they are wet so often. Unlike chickens you have to provide dirt baths so they can get cleaned, and then even then they might get mites and lice and all that. Ducks tend to not get it because they submerge their bodies in water. So if you do have that kiddie pool, you want to be able to use it for your ducks. They are pretty high maintenance compared to chickens. You do have to think of the pools, think of them dipping their beaks in water. You have to clean it fairly often in terms of their housing, especially if they are in a run. Just go ahead and forget about not cleaning. You are going to have to clean all the time. If you free range them, it's going to be a lot easier for you. Anytime you free range your animals, it's going to be less of a hassle for you, less of a cleanup. And so if you're looking for a low maintenance farm life, free ranging your animals is definitely the best way to have that low maintenance.
One obvious perk about ducks is that they are so cute. When they're baby ducks, they grow up so fast though. But when they're baby ducks, they're just like adorable with their little webbed feet and their beaks. Even when they grow up, they still are really cute. I hope that they'll just like follow us around once they're bigger, and we'll have like little buddies with us so every time we walk around. I mean, you can just see they're adorable. Yes, we're gonna use them for meat, but while we have them and while we're spending time with them and loving them, we're gonna give them the best life that we could possibly give them until they're ready to serve their purpose. That doesn't stop us from getting attached to them or just saying how adorable they are, because they are so cute.
So the other day we talked about some of the things that you need to think of before getting ducks. Last night was the very first, or the second night actually this week, that they've actually gone into the coop by themselves. And for about a week or so, we've been like trying to get them to go back into the coop. And so we'll actually kind of chase them back into the coop a little bit because they don't want to be picked up. But then when we finally do pick them up, we put them inside the coop. And so it seems like they've kind of gotten the idea. If they do it consistently for the next week, we'll have no issue going on vacations and everything and just leaving them here and knowing that they're coming back. And we can.
Ducks have to be trained.
Ducks, it does seem like ducks have to be trained. If they are raised with chickens, the chickens will kind of teach them. But if you are bringing them in from the outside and introducing them to chickens, they need to be trained to go back inside.
Yeah, but they love the rain.
They love the rain.
So the ducks made it into the pool.
Yay!
That's their first time getting in there by themselves.
If you're asking yourself, are ducks worth it? Do we really want them? The answer, yes.
Yes.
You want some ducks. Ducks are not only add some cuteness factor to your farm, but they get rid of all the pests.
As long as you're prepared for the work that ducks involve, totally get them. We love ours.
And if you free range them, they're gonna be your best pals. They're gonna follow you around. And they're just so darn cute. They're super friendly, especially our Encana ducks. They're gonna be really friendly once they get a little bit older, but just keep that in mind. Ducks are definitely worth it if you're looking to add a poultry item to your farm.
You guys don't mind getting wet?
So we just had a rainfall and our garden is doing wonderful. Yeah, I've never seen it so green and so happy. My corn is starting to grow. So you can see some of the seeds didn't make it, but if you look down, the vast majority of them did. It's all grown within like the last 2 days since the rain. And then obviously I have my broccoli. Our tomatoes are doing fantastic. They are loving, and I mean loving this weather. There's a couple that could be doing better, like that little guy. But all in all, they're all doing pretty good. I'm not sure what happened to my squash and zucchini, but I have some planted on this row. It just never really took. It looked like it was fried. I think one of the mistakes I made was I put in chicken manure too early. I didn't let it compost all the way, and I thought mixing the soil in and getting everything out would work. So there was a frost. It was like 3 days after we had planted. We didn't think it would actually get down to 32, but it needed to be planted. Otherwise it would have been late this season. But it just never took. I think it just either fried it or it just killed the seed. But the rest of this was planted during the frost as well. Even my tomatoes and the peppers and everything else down there, it's all popped up. My cucumbers are doing good. And then those were zucchinis. This is squash. And I believe there's a mixture of zucchini in here as well. But the rest of these plants right here is watermelon. We were very concerned about them at first, but they seem to be doing all right. Not the best. I'd like to see them get a little greener and a little bigger, but they're doing pretty good. These are my pumpkins. I think it's gonna be a pretty successful year, but my corn, I'm ecstatic about. I think we're gonna have a phenomenal corn year. Even though a few didn't pop up, we had a whole row planted, and you see how big this garden is. It's massive, and we only planted 3 rows because we realized we did not need as much as we tilled up. It's going to be a good year for gardening, and we're going to have a lot of produce this year.
It just stopped raining, and look at this rainbow. Oh my gosh.
It's a double rainbow too. You can see a hint of the second one.
Our God is awesome.
Yeah, he is.